Hello, I'm Sarah from Me Time. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create Betty's tea towels from our Hoop Studio subscription. I will also give you tips on the jar opener and the towel hanger. I love how giftable these are. Think how cute this would be in a neighbor gift with a loaf of bread and some fresh produce. If you're new to Me Time, we deliver complete machine embroidery experiences right to your door. You can learn more about Me Time and our subscriptions at metimedelivered.com. Before we start creating, let's look at all the fun things you get in this kit. In this photo, you can see the beautiful fabrics in the kit. I love this Riley Blake floral. It has such a vintage feel. And there are several other fabric colors to use for the appliques. The 2 tea towels that are included have really subtle organic designs that were made exclusively for this kit. And a point turner is always a great tool to have. A few unique things you will notice are the flexi foam, gripper material, wooden ring, and button. Every month you can expect a detailed instruction book and, of course, the cute packaging. This kit can be broken down into 3 projects. First, I will show you step-by-step how to create the over-the-edge tea towel applique project. Next, I will give you tips for the jar gripper and towel hanger. To prepare for the Chop It Like It's Hot tea towel project, I have already pre-cut, starched, and pressed the fabrics listed on page 2 of the instruction book. I have also cut a 2.5 by 4.5 piece of flexi foam and pressed my tea towel. If you want to create the design on both towels, there are enough materials to do so, or you can use the additional blank towel as desired. Hoop the Kimberbell Sticky Back Wash Away Stabilizer into your 5 by 7 embroidery hoop with the glossy paper side up. With a sharp object, carefully score the stabilizer inside the hoop like this. Take care not to push too hard. Lift up one of the corners and peel the glossy paper off to expose the adhesive. Load the Chop It Like It's Hot embroidery file into the machine. Load your hoop into the machine and stitch the tea towel placement line and tick mark. Fold the tea towel in half the long way with the right sides together. Place the tea towel on the stabilizer. Align the short edge with the placement line and the folded corner with the tick mark. Unfold the tea towel and press as you smooth it out to attach it to the stabilizer. The excess should be on the left side of your hoop. I'm going to roll and clip the excess out of the way with these cute little Me Time clips. The fresh technique for this month is over the edge applique. This is really easy to do and creates a neat effect. We are going to use flexi foam to add stability and dimension to the vegetables. Then we are going to add several appliques and text. The fabric and satin stitches on the edge will also add dimension and stability to the over the edge applique. For the best success, we suggest trimming threads from the back as necessary to keep it nice and tidy. Now back to the project. I'm ready for machine step 2. Stitch the base placement lines. Keep an eye on the tea towel edge to make sure it doesn't get caught on your presser foot. If your presser foot tends to catch, you may need to raise the presser foot as you go over the edges. Place the base flexi foam, cover the placement lines, and tape that in place. Machine step 3 is stitching the base tack down lines using a neutral thread color. Go ahead and remove the tape now. Carefully trim the foam close to the stitch lines. Stitch the pepper placement line to complete machine step 4. Turn the hoop to the back, place 1 pepper fabric right side up, covering the placement line, and tape the corners in place. Turn the hoop back over to the front side, place the other pepper fabric right side up, covering the placement line, and tape that in place as well. On to machine step 5. Stitch the pepper tack down line using a neutral color thread. We're going to add the satin stitches later. Turn the hoop to the back, remove the tape, and trim the fabric close to the stitch line. Turn the hoop to the front again, remove the tape, and trim the fabric close to the stitch line. For machine step 6, stitch the carrot placement line using a neutral thread color. Turn the hoop to the back, place one of the carrot fabric pieces right side up, covering the placement line, and tape the corners in place. Turn the hoop to the front, place the remaining carrot fabric right side up, covering the placement line, and tape in place. Are you starting to see a pattern here? Machine step 7 is stitch the carrot tack down line using a neutral thread color. Turn the hoop to the back, remove the tape, and trim the fabric close to the stitch line. Turn the hoop to the front, remove the tape, trim the fabric close to the stitch line. We need to repeat these steps for 2 more vegetables. Machine step 8 is stitch the onion placement line using a neutral thread color. Again, turn the hoop to the back. This time I'm placing this little plum buds fabric for the red onion, covering the placement line, right side up, and tape the corners. Turn the hoop to the front and place the other onion fabric, right side up, covering the placement line, and tape in place. Okay, stitch the onion tack down line to keep that onion together. This is machine step 9. Turn the hoop to the back, remove the tape, and trim the fabric close to the stitch line. Turn it over to the front again, remove the tape, and trim the fabric close to the stitch line. On to the last applique, the mushroom. First, stitch the mushroom stem placement line in a neutral thread color. This applique uses 2 different fabrics. Turn the hoop to the back, place one of the mushroom stem fabric pieces right side up, covering the placement line, tape the corners in place, and turn the hoop to the front, place the remaining mushroom stem fabric, covering the placement line, and tape in place. For machine step 11, stitch the mushroom stem tack down line. Turn the hoop to the back, remove the tape, trim the fabric close to the stitch line, and turn the hoop to the front, remove the tape, and trim the fabric close to the stitch line. Now we'll repeat this for the mushroom cap. Stitch the mushroom cap tack down line. This is machine step 12. Turn the hoop to the back and place the mushroom cap fabric right side up, covering the placement line, and tape the corners in place. Turn the hoop to the front, place the remaining mushroom cap fabric right side up again, covering the placement line, and tape. Machine step 13 is stitching the mushroom cap tack down line in a neutral thread color. Last time now, turn the hoop to the back, remove the tape, trim the fabric close to the stitch line, and turn the hoop to the front, remove the tape, trim the fabric close to the stitch line. Okay, get ready for some thread changes. Pay attention to the bobbin colors as well. You will find these next to the instruction step number. I'm going to start adding those satin stitches and details. Change the bobbin thread to match the thread color. I'm using red for the pepper. Then stitch the pepper outline stitch. This is machine step 14. Change the bobbin back to a neutral color. Now we're stitching the greenery A fills using the green thread. For machine step 16, switch your thread to the darker green color and stitch the greenery fills and details. Switch your thread back to the lighter green color and stitch the greenery B fills and details. Change your bobbin to match the top thread. We are using orange for our carrot satin stitch. Machine step 18 is stitching the carrot outline stitch. Switch your bobbin to match the top thread. We're using a darker orange color to stitch the carrot details. Change the bobbin to match the top thread. We are using light purple color to stitch the onion details. Remember to trim extra threads from the back as necessary to keep it from getting too messy. Switch out your bobbin and thread to match. we're using a dark purple for our onion satin outline. This is machine step 21. Change out both your bobbin and the top thread color again to match. We are using taupe for machine step 22 to stitch the mushroom gill fills. Replace the bobbin and top thread again. This time, you'll want to use the color you want for your mushroom details. We're using the gray color. This is machine step 23. Change your bobbin and top thread to the ivory color to stitch the mushroom satin outline. There are just a few steps left. Now change the bobbin thread to match the top thread. We're using the charcoal thread color for the words chop and hot. Change your bobbin thread back to a neutral color thread for machine step 26. Switch the top thread to the lighter green to stitch the words "it like it's." We're done with all the machine steps. To finish this project off, remove it from the hoop, turn it to the back, cut away the excess stabilizer close to the design. And using a wet cotton swab, dissolve any remaining stabilizer and lay flat to dry. There were a lot of thread changes, but I love the completed design. Now let's talk about the Get a Grip jar opener. The design on this jar opener is created with thread, so a lot of the project will be thread changes. After you complete the embroidery design, you will add the back gripper material and stitch the final outline stitch. There is a little opening to allow you to turn your project. We chose to hand sew the opening closed, but you can also do a top stitch if you prefer. A couple of suggestions I wanted to share. First, we recommend switching out your needle for this project to keep your threads from breaking. We have noticed some new needles have tiny burrs, so you may need to switch your needle more than once. Second, if your machine seems to be struggling with the gripper material, slow your machine down. If you decide to finish your gripper with a top stitch, we recommend using a layer of wash-away topping to help the project slide while stitching on your sewing machine. We have added a step and picture of this in the instructions. Moving on to the last project included in this kit. Towel hangers work great to hold towels on ovens or drawer pulls. I think you'll be surprised how quickly this one comes together as well. We use flexi foam to create the quilting. The buttonhole is stitched right in your embroidery machine, so the only hand sewing you will do on this project is attaching the button. The tips I wanted to share for this project: make sure to trim close to the tack down line so no threads poke through the satin stitch. Sew the button on securely so it doesn't fall off. Wet the stabilizer only close to the satin stitches, and don't try to rinse all the stabilizer out until you need to wash it in the washing machine to keep it from being too stiff. And be mindful of your preference on the direction of the fabric. When you are done creating the hanger, simply slide the wood ring through it for display. Those are all the tips I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed learning how to do the over-the-edge applique. I'd love to hear how you are using these projects, so comment here on YouTube or post on our Me Time community on Facebook. Thanks for joining me. Now go enjoy a little well-deserved me time.